get a chance to listen to me during our mentoring sessions, you know that I often grumble under my breath when traders talk about me reviewing Facebook. I think one of the first things that I see with newer traders is they want to trade Facebook every day, and that's why I grumble. I only want to trade Facebook when it's really in play. The reason for that, for me, is that it touches a lot of prices, and I feel like I'm going to get stopped out, and I would rather not be frustrated during the trading day. So Facebook is great off of very significant trading levels. It's great when around earnings season. If you are a hyper scalper, I suppose it's really great, but there's not a lot of hyper scalpers left. So this is hopefully from Michael going to be one of the times when we should have traded Facebook. I don't want to say that. If you are a hyper scalper and you trade it effectively with edge every day, then that's fine. But I think you would admit you're in the minority. For the rest of us, this would be an example of a day we'd want to trade it, potentially. And even on a day when it has earnings, for me, I'd still actually want to have a level edge, a level where if the stock got above or below it, I felt like it could really move away from that price and I could control my risk, that's edge to me. I've got a price where I think if it moves away from that price, my reward's going to be 5x and my risk is 1x. So hopefully we have a situation like that with Michael. And on that note, I'm sure we do, Michael. On that note, I'll let him come in here and talk about the big picture.
All right, thanks, Mike. So the big picture, this was Facebook yesterday during the after hours, right after they reported earnings. So the overall market was closed, so there's not a lot of, SPY or S&P 500 related things happening. And really, Facebook earnings are kind of so important that they can influence the market just as much as the market influences Facebook. So the big picture was that this was fresh news out on Facebook, the earnings. The earnings were very good, so we'll just move on. During the trading day leading up to earnings, Facebook did run up into the earnings number. They had the RVOL of 1.7. Facebook does 4 million shares on a given day. The short float is not very high. It's only 2% going into this announcement. Key levels for this trade were $72 was the big one. I'll talk about that. But just to run over the earnings numbers, they reported 42 cents per share versus 33-cent estimate, and they also beat the estimate obviously, but they also beat all the whisper number estimates. They were about 40 cents, so it was a beat across the board for Facebook on earnings and revenue. 2.9 billion versus 2.8 billion estimate, and their active monthly users were good for desktop and mobile. So those are the fundamentals. One other thing that I just remembered. So I've traded, I've been trading for a while now, almost a year, and I looked at my Facebook results for over the last year or so, and the two differences in my Facebook, like when I look at all the trades that I've made all my money on really two trades, which was once in Facebook after hours, I think after they bought WhatsApp, and it was an after hours trade, and it was this one also. So those were the two difference makers, and then all the other trades that I made were just kind of washouts.
So a definite best practice to highlight right there. Lots of times in your trading, there's good. You just have to go find it. And you want to be spending a great deal of your energy finding what's good. And so you might be negative overall in Facebook, but you might be able to deconstruct patterns where you have edge. And you may want to trade just those patterns. So that's really, really good work. I actually, of all of the things we're going to talk about today, I hope that's the biggest lesson you pull away from this session, which is that's the type of work that a pro trader does and has to do. That's the type of work each day that you want to do, building from your strengths. Your strengths are in your numbers that you've traded live where you've made money.
Yeah, so I think Facebook is oftentimes a little more easier to trade after hours than during the day, where it's doing close to 100 million shares. There's a lot that can happen there. So here's the daily chart. Facebook, everybody's probably pretty familiar with this. It had this high was an important level, and it came down for a quarter, and then it's been trending up, and it ran up into earnings, and the earnings were good, so it got above the 52-week high in the after hours and went a lot higher. That's the daily chart. Here's a 5-minute. You can see this was the price action yesterday, and then the earnings announcement was right here, and it went down and up and down and up, and then it consolidated a little bit and then went higher. So we'll get into my executions on the 1 minute. So here it was. So this was an earnings announcement. Right after the close, they ran it up. The numbers came out. They pounded it down, and it went up and down and up and down. And the first trade that I tried to make was a short, which was very small loss. This was like a first bounce trade. I thought the first move was down. It bounced. I tried to give the first bounce a short, and it didn't work. I got out for a small loss, no problem. And then I got a look at the numbers. I realized they were pretty good. And if Facebook's ever going to move higher, it's now after they report good earnings. So I tried to get long once here, got stopped out. I just waited for it to consolidate a little bit more, and then I used this level of about 65 cents. Once it got above that, it had good volume. I paid it, and I paid above the high 72 right there.
So when you say you use the level of 65 cents, how do you define that?
So
was it not trading above that 65 cents?
It tested 65 cents once. What it was really doing, I think, was holding 71.25 or so. And so it was holding that, and it couldn't get above 65 cents, and it formed like a 5-minute inside bar, which I thought was good. And once it got above that 5-minute high, I bought it, and it was like a strong move. So I added through the high of 72 and went all the way up.
So you saw, for a short-term trader, you saw a consolidation where you could control your risk, and then it busted above the consolidation.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. I was using the 5-minute consolidation as my risk, and then when it worked, I started adding to it. So my average cost was a little bit below $72. I was trying to hold it as long as I could. I made it all the way up above 73 where I sold it, and then it went all the way up to 75 plus in the after hours. And I tried a few more times, so we really couldn't get anything going after that. So that was it. I bought, around $72.
So overall, profitable?
Yeah, overall profitable. I got on the right side of it, and caught a chunk of the big move.
Gotcha. Okay, good. All right, what
else? So here's the trade management. I waited around for a 5-minute consolidation. I bought it when it broke above that consolidation. I added through the highs. I held as long as I could, but I only caught a point out of a 3-point move plus today's gap up. So I went home thinking I wish I would have held some, for the gap up this morning and run. So I still think I need to do a better job on that. The setup was that now is when Facebook should run. On any random day, they're not going to move 5 points up. But right after they report monster earnings, that's when they're going to do it. So I should have done a little bit of better job recognizing that now is the time to risk or size up and try to hold some.
All right, good. So yeah, when you trade in after hours, I like the idea of you seeing support, seeing resistance, and using that to make trade decisions as opposed to just you deciding that the stock should go up. I like the idea that you did decide the stock was going to go up, but then you found safe ways to get in, control your risk with a nice pattern. But what I really love about this, and really this is the only thing that's important about the last 10 minutes of this review, is that process is so important for trading. Can't be a good trader without an elite process. So many retail traders, developing traders, and underperforming pro traders do not have an elite process. And an elite process is you reviewing your work, going through your trading statistics. A small part of it is going through your trading statistics and discovering your edge. And so this was a perfect example of a trader doing that. Going through his results, finding out where he made money, and then finding another situation like that and pulling the trigger. And I bet you probably had a little bit more confidence knowing that you have potential edge in the after hours with Facebook, right? It gives you more confidence to trade it. And as you progress in your trading career, you're going to also trade these bigger, which will lead to you making more money. So you'll have identified the edge, you'll have more confidence, you will put more risk in play, your results will get better. Not only will you be making more money in plays like this and spotting more plays like this, but you'll stop making a lot of trades in Facebook where you don't have edge, that's taking up opportunity costs to find other plays where you do have edge. So when we talk about, an elite review process, an elite process, this is an example of that. You obviously first have to learn how to trade, but even guys who have learned how to trade, like Michael, have to continue to dig deep into the stats to find out where he's got the most edge. Okay, all right, great job. Really good example right here. On that note, we'll talk to you guys soon. Trade well. Enjoy earnings season.
Hi, I'm Mike Bellafiore, author of The Playbook and One Good Trade, co-founder of SMBU and SMB Capital here in New York City. If you want to learn more about SMB, please go check out smbu.com. Check out our blog where we share tons of trading tips, trading stories, trades we're in, trading anecdotes, and also take the time to sign up for our 10-day free training program, which we offer to the trading community at smbu.com. We hope you enjoy it. We hope to see you on the site. Trade well.